In this video, we'll create a chatbot in Microsoft Teams. These videos were previously part of our best-selling PO100 course, Microsoft Power Platform Apps Maker. I hope that you enjoy them. And you're probably thinking, okay, that's not part of the Power Platform. And it isn't. But when you get to the Microsoft Teams licensing page and scroll down, you'll see that part of it includes chat and collaboration, which the free version has as well. And if you have a look at that, 250 or more integrated apps and services for Teams. And that includes things like Power Apps. So to download Microsoft Teams on your desktop, just Google download Microsoft Teams. So here we've got my page. So I will download for the desktop, download Teams. And it's a fairly easy install. You may already have it on your computer, of course, as you may have been working from home and your company may use Microsoft Teams. So I'm just going to pause the video until it downloads. Right, so it's finished downloading, so just click on it to open it. And here you can see starting to be installed. So enter your work, school or Microsoft account. Click sign in. If you're not on Teams, then you can see there's a sign up for free button as well. So I will now enter the password, sign in, and stay signed into all of your apps and allow my organization to manage my device. I'm going to say no. I don't want somebody else to be able to manage my Windows. So I'll click OK. It says, hold on while we register this device with your company and apply policy. Well, I've said I don't want any policy to be applied, so hopefully it won't be doing that. There we go. We've added your account successfully. So that's all done. So now it's loading Microsoft Teams. And there we go, it's installed. Now on the left-hand side, we have got apps. And if I go up to search all apps, and type in the word Power, you can see that we've got Power BI, Power Automate, and Power Apps. So you can click on any one of these and click on Open. And after a few seconds, you get the home screen. Empower your team one app at a time. Create a low-code app in minutes, and you can click Start Now. And then it invites you to select a team for your app. This is where your app will live. Team members can't see it until you publish it. Well, I don't have any teams. So what I need to do is create a team. So on the left-hand side, I go to Teams, and I click Create a Team from scratch. And anyone in my organization can join. And I'll call this the Power Platform team. So then it invites you to add more members to your team. Well, let's add one more member. There we go. There was a skip button at the bottom if you didn't want to do that. So there is our team now created. So now I can go into Power Apps, Start Now, select a team for this app. So you're the first person to create an app in this team. We'll do some setting up and loading time will be a bit longer than usual. Right, so I've got the message Success, Power Apps is ready. You can see we're in the build section. And now you can see you can build your own apps within Microsoft Teams. So this would be my Power Apps Teams. Click Save. And now you can see it's a similar environment to the one you've been used to. So you can insert on the left-hand side. You can connect to data. And you can also connect to media there. So this is how you can build Power Apps natively in Microsoft Teams. Now, if we go to the apps again and have a look for Power Automate. So again, I'll just click on Add. And this is the home page that you get. Again, Looks very familiar, except all of these are related to Teams. So they all have a Teams connector. And then you can create, including on the right-hand side, create from blank, to get to a very familiar page. And then again, if we go back to the apps and have a look at Power BI. So open that. Again, we get to a very familiar interface. So once you have opened them for the first time, if you click on the ... you'll see them under recent as well. So you no longer have to go down to the apps to have a look at those things that you have opened moderately recently. So this is how you install Microsoft Teams on your desktop and how you can add Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power BI into Microsoft Teams. In this video, we're going to start looking at chatbots. So what are chatbots? What are the use cases for it? Well, you may have gone to various websites and at the bottom right end of the screen, it says, "Hello, my name is Anna. Can I help you?" And you can type information in and get responses. Well, that's a chatbot. And we're going to have a look at chatbots in this course in the context of Microsoft Teams. And we're going to look at fairly elementary chatbots. So what might you use chatbots for? Well, you could answer questions without the need for human intervention. It is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you can solve perhaps common employee issues automatically. You could look up items in Dataverse for Teams, for instance. You could find people and items. And you could start Power Automate flows as part of the chatbot. So let's have a look at how we can do this in Microsoft Teams. And you do this by going to the ... here and type in virtual agents. And there you can see Microsoft Virtual Agents quickly and easily create chatbots for Teams. So I'm going to add that in. So it's important to realize there are some differences between Power Virtual Agents for Teams and the full Power Virtual Agents. This can only be used in your organization, so it can't be used with customers. But equally, the price is pretty good. If you're licensed with Microsoft Office, which includes Teams, then you're licensed with Power Virtual Agents. So this has been used in the past, for instance, for COVID-19 infection rate and tracking information, sales help and support issues, opening hours, store information, employee health, vacation benefits, and other common employee questions for businesses. And it can be very quick to set up. So let's set one up now. So we click Start Now. And we need to select a team. Well, I'm going to create my Power Platform Team chatbot. So I'll click Continue there. Now we need to give it a name. Well, I'm going to give it the name of Documentation. And you can see the various languages that can be used. So Danish, Dutch, English, French, German. And if we go down the list, we can see some preview languages as well. So let's click Create. So it's now creating my bot. And you can see after about a minute, it says we're still building it. While we work, feel free to chat with the test bot, trace your conversation and check out conversation topics. So here we can see we've got a test bot. And so I can say hello, maybe. And the computer says, "Hi, I'm a virtual agent. I can help with whatever. So what can I help with today? Opening hours." And I'm happy to help with opening hours. We have these opening hours. Did that answer your question? And we can see that it is based on a flow chart, starting with trigger phrases for topic and then various messages and until we get to an end of a conversation. There is a bit more that's available in that. So in this video, we've installed Power Virtual Agents for Teams. In the next video, we're going to create our own bot. Now, in this video, we're going to have a look at creating our own chatbot. So chatbots are made up of things like entities. So entities are real world subjects or concept of them. So phone number, zip or postal code, address, city, state, colors, numbers, names, that sort of thing. But we don't need to get too much into entities in the PL 100 exam. This is more for the PL 200. Instead, we're going to stick largely with topics. And we can see we have got a few sample topics already installed. And you can click on any one of these if you want to see information about it, and then you can go to the authoring canvas. But instead, what we're going to do is go back to topics on the left-hand side and create a new topic. So a topic is how a conversation develops. So you can start it from templates, but we can start it also from the beginning. So this is going to be my documentation 2020 or later. So we'll give that a friendly name as well. And you can see that's the external facing name that they will see. So how might my customers, so internal customers only, ask about this topic? So I'll say, where is the documentation? Documentation. Where can I find a manual? And you can see, try to start with 5 to 10 diverse phrases. So the computer needs to be able to understand, when the person types in manual, for instance, he may be looking at that, or she may be looking at that. It uses artificial intelligence to parse a customer's input so we can get into the right topic. So these trigger phrases, they're keywords, questions, or phrases relating to an issue. So now I've got this start, I'll go to the authoring canvas. So just saving the topic, and then we will go to the authoring canvas. So they're my trigger phrases. Next question is, okay, usually when you start a conversation, you say something and someone else says something. So welcome to the documentation section for 2020 and later. Now let's add something. We can show yet another message. We can ask a question. We can add a condition, and we can call an action. So the action might be, for instance, launching Power Automate. So you can call a flow based on your response to your chatbot. So I'm going to ask a question. Which year do you want the documentation for? And so you can see we can have multiple choice options, or maybe we ask for an entity, an age, a city, a color, that sort of thing. So I'm going to give multiple choice options. So 2020, 2021, 2022, 2019. And you notice, save the response as. So it will be saved as a variable at the moment called var. So I'm going to say year requested, and it's going to be text. So if it's equal to 2020, then do something. So you can see the computer has inserted all of these 4 different conditions based on what I have done. So I can have different action based on 2020, 2021, 2022, 2019. So what I'm going to do with 2020, I'm going to show a message which says the documentation can be found here. And I will add a link to where the documentation is going to be found. Now, obviously, I don't have any documentation, so I'm going to use Microsoft Address. If it's 2021, then I'm going to say the documentation can be found here. And I'm going to, this time, use Google Address. If it's equal to 2022, so just slide along, then my message is, I'm sorry, this documentation has not yet been released. And then if it's 2019, I'm going to say, this has been archived. I will call up the information. So I'm going to save it as that. And now I'm going to create another topic. So I'll go back to topics, and this topic, and you can see all we have is create from blank. This topic is going to be documentation 2019 or earlier. So archive documentation. But I'm not going to be using much in terms of a trigger phrase for this. So I'll go to the authoring canvas for this particular one and say, this is the 2019 or earlier information. It could be found here, but this may be out of date. So maybe this is a chatbot that I've created in an earlier year, and I just want to say, here's the information. It may or may not be current. So I'll go to bing.com here. Now, at the end of a topic, I need to end the conversation. So I can end with a survey. So the survey has this answered your question, basically. So now I've got this, I will go back to my earlier topic of documentation 2020 or later. I'll go to the authoring canvas, and you notice this little symbol here with the 3 squares can also be found here. So you can go straight to the authoring canvas, and there's a few additional options. So if it's 2019, then what I want to do is go to another topic, and I'll go to the topic of documentation 2019 or earlier. So what do we do at the end of a conversation? So I'll end with a survey. Now, I could put in lots of different end of conversations here as well, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Add Node, so that creates a circle, and then drag this circle so that it's the same with this circle. And that just creates the one path at the end for these 3. So do that to this as well. So maybe I was continuing to ask additional information, so I don't have to replicate that lots of times. So I'm going to now save that. And in the next video, we're going to have a look at testing this chatbot and publishing it so that other people can use it. So in this video, we're going to have a look at testing and publishing our bot. So we can click on Test Bot, and we get this pane over here. So you can see it hides it or shows it. So I'm going to start with one of my trigger phrases. So I'm just going to say, where can I find documentation? And here you go. Welcome to the documentation section. Which year do you want the documentation for? So if I say 2020, then the computer says it can be found here, and it is highlighting the Microsoft website. Did that answer your question? So this is the end of conversation survey. So if yes, great. Please rate your experience, so 5 stars. Can I help with anything else? Yes, please. That gets me back right to the beginning. So I will just say documentation. I want the 2021 documentation. It can be found here. And this here is Google. So no, that didn't answer my question. So I want to try rephrasing. I don't want to talk to a human agent. So start right at the beginning. I want 2022. So this is not being released. Did that answer my question? And I'll do this one more time. And this is when this is very useful, track between topics. Because when I go to 2019, it is going to go to a different topic. Actually, before doing that, I'll just go to topics and just edit this particular topic, because it's just going to sail through that, but simply because there's a message. So I'm going to add a new question, which is just going to be, how old is the data you are looking for? And just say 2019 or earlier. And I'm not going to actually do anything with this. It's just to have a bit more time in this topic. So I'm going to save that now, go back to my topic. So there's my test bot. So I will track between topics. So I'll go to documentation, even though this isn't a trigger phrase for this particular bot. So it goes to my earlier bot. I want 2019. And now you can see it goes to my other topic. So there we are. It's now tested, and we are going into a end survey. So that's how you test it. Now let's have a look at how we can publish our chatbot. And all it is going to the left-hand side and going publish. So I'm going to hide that test bot. So if you're using premium connectors, you'll need to upgrade your license to publish your bot. Not the case in this case. And I'll click on Publish. So now what I can do is share the bot. I can also just start chatting, and that just looks like this. So if I click on Add, there is my chat. And I can keep going as much as I want. Now let's go back to Power Virtual Agents for Teams by clicking on the ... and going to Power Virtual Agents. Once I've done that, if I want to go back to documentation, there it is, my chatbot. So I'm going to go back to editing my chatbot. So I'll just click on that and go back to Publish. And in addition to opening the bot, I can share the bot. So I can share this with my team. So choose this option for bots built just for you and your team to use. So click Add to Team, and it automatically gets added. So it is now available in the Built by Your Colleagues section on Team. So if I close this down, if I want to share this more widely within my organization rather than just my team, then under Share the Bot, I have got the option to submit it for admin approval. And if approved, your bot will appear not in the Built by Your Team, but Built by Your Org section in Teams. Now, if you do this, bear in mind, it's also been shared with my team. So they'll see two versions of it, so you might want to remove it. So I will submit for admin approval. And you can see, make sure it's ready for release in compliance with all of your policies. And it also says, remove the bot from Built by Your Colleagues section for Teams. It will show up in two different places. Submit for admin approval. Here, you can now change the icon. You can change the short and long description. You can click on More and change the developer name, website, privacy statement, and terms of use. And then I will now submit it for admin approval. So this requires you to give everyone access to the bot. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes. So now the bot has been sent to my admin. You can see processing request. And it is now waiting for approval. So here I am in the Microsoft Teams admin center, which is admin.teams.microsoft.com. I'm logged in as an admin, and I'll go to Teams apps on the left-hand side and then manage apps. And you can see pending approval, there is one submitted custom app. So let's have a look at which one it is. And it is this one, the documentation. And you can see publishing status submitted, current status block. I can click on it and I can change its publishing status. So I'm going to say published. So I have reviewed the app and now want to approve and publish it. Yes. So I'm going to say publish. And now documentation has been published. It may take a few hours before the status is updated. So if I scroll down to documentation, then you can see it is now published and status allowed. And you can also see it's a custom app. So if you want to see all of the custom apps, you could just sort by custom app. So when it is approved, it will be going into the apps section. And if I click on Built for Your Org, there you can see applications that were built by my colleagues. In other words, things I've got access to. We'll also see anything that's not just built for my team, but a wider section. So in this video, we've had a look at how to test and publish a chatbot. So what we can do is we can test a particular chatbot by going to that chatbot, clicking Open Chatbot here, or going to the Edit section and clicking on the test bot over here if you're editing something. And if you're not, you can just test it in here. We also had a look at how we can publish it. And we can publish it by going to Publish on the left-hand side and clicking Publish. And then we can share the bot either in your individual team or among your wider organization if it has been approved by your admins. For more about the Power Platform and related apps, please go to our website, idodata.com, and click on Power Platform and Dynamics 365. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give it a like, and why not subscribe and click that bell? That way you'll be notified of any new videos. If you'd like similar videos like this, then please click on the playlist. I'm Philip Burton of idodata.com. Thanks for watching and keep learning.